if you just got your squat max and you're using it for the first time, first thing is you want to figure out what belt loop to use. The belt loop's based on your height. You want to choose a loop that lets you get maximum distance without the loading pin trying to come off the guide rod. I'm about 5'10". I use mostly loop 3 just to see it. And you want these loops pointing straight ahead. And then the next thing is, if you're just using the main middle setting here for the loading pin, where do you put your feet? As you can see, there's X's here. Can you show that X? So if I'm using the main middle setting, again, you'll play with your foot positioning. My toes are probably, 3 or 4 inches in front of the X. But again, this will vary. You can go an inch forward, an inch back. You got to find what works for you. And if you're taking a real knees over toes squat, again, you may have to play with it. If you're real hingy, we'll talk about how to use the extension pin. So that's all it is. And then you find that position. I don't like grabbing the handles on every set. So what I'll do is, if I'm using this middle setting on the loading pin, I'll lock my lats and kind of put my arms through. Some people will go out here. But again, that'll be personal preference as you figure out what your best setup is. So the extension pin, this is kind of taking squat max to the next level, because now you're not limited to just hooking up with the middle hook on the loading pin. So what this does, it lets you set back. You can set up a little farther back. Maybe you want to go more narrow. So if you see my toes, when I'm using the extension pin, instead of being a couple inches forward like in the middle setting, now you actually see my toes are setting up almost behind the X, or even with the X, depending what you're trying to do. And then there's various hookups. This middle pin will give you more quad if you're set up towards the back of the platform. This will give you more quad, and this will let you push your hips way back if you're chasing real vertical shins for more glutes, especially if you're doing a box squat. Just to show us, I'm going to use this setting that's a little bit more quad. And again, you can see my toes are probably right at the X, so I'm set up in the back of the platform. But this is nice because you got a lot of plates on there. It lets you, again, set up away from the plate so there's no plate interference. And then if you want to do box squats and really get that vertical shin, you're going to use that hole way in the back. And again, what this is going to do, it lets me push my hips way back. So you see my shins are vertical, because I'm not limited to just working over the guide rod. Thanks. So the benefit of Squat Max is it's a free weight, so there's omnidirection. The challenge with Squat Max is figuring out where to place your feet. If you're using the traditional middle setting, this has been shown to work the lower body similar to a barbell back squat, the middle setting. If you're using a traditional middle setting, you can see the X's here. You can play with your foot positioning. My toes are a little bit in front of the X most times. And again, if you're squatting with knees over toes, you're going way forward, you may want to go an inch back or an inch forward. But that's the main setup for the middle setting.